Hello artists, I'm going to teach you how to create an 8-pointed paper snowflake. Our first step is going to be to create a square from our rectangle. So you will be using the blue paper that you have in your folder. Obviously mine is not blue. You can also use printer paper, old worksheets. It's a good thing to practice if you want to before you move on to your blue paper. And if you don't have blue paper, just find whatever you can. Okay, so our goal is to get a square. So we are going to, and remember you can pause me at any time if I'm moving too quickly, then you can slow me down. I am going to bring this corner of my paper over to the side over here. And I want to create a nice point down here. So I'm going to, again, be bringing this corner of my page over to the side of the paper, and I want to create a nice point. And when you have that done, you are going to put a little fold in it like this. I'm going to open it up so I can show you what it's supposed to look like. See how this line, this fold line goes right to that corner? That's what it's supposed to look like. Now we are going to chop off this edge of the paper to get our square. All right. Sometimes people like to make bookmarks out of these. Feel free to keep it and do with it what you want. So take a look, we have a square. All right, so here we go. We are going to make a fold like this. Whoops, let me make that a little bit better. So you're just gonna fold that in half. Nice, good point there. Okay, so that's good. And then I'm going to, after that, I'm going to fold it one more time in half like this. Okay, now let me show you something. I'm going to open it back up. You do not have to do that. I'm going to do that just to show you something. When I open it back up, we are going to look for that plus sign and that X. Okay, so let's take a look. I see my plus sign and I see my X. So remember when we were drawing our 8-pointed snowflakes, we are going to be cutting one. So that is why we are folding it the way that we are folding it to get our 8 points. Now, on this side is going to be your lines for your X, and on this side is going to be your lines for your plus sign. So what you're going to do is you are going to create, and I would do this with a pencil, you are going to create some half shapes. So I'm going to create half of a circle, but look, I'm not going right off the edge of the paper. The reason why is that if I cut that off, it would be gone. I want to keep this. So I'm actually going to create an arm with it by going down like that. So this is going to be like half of a circle connected to one of the arms. I am going to curve a little bit here. You could do a straight line, doesn't matter. I'm going to create another arm going up like that. I think I'll do a pointy shape like this for that one. Okay, when I cut, the only thing that is going to go away, you do not have to do this, I'm just letting you know, this part right here will cut away. And I would be left with this shape here as my white snowflake. Now you might say, I want a little more detail. Okay, we can cut into it a little bit more. So you could create a line right here. If you create a line going all the way from one side to the other, that piece gets cut off. We created a line that went from one side to the other. This line went all the way around and traveled here. So when we cut on that line, this is all going to get cut off. Now what if we want to cut into the center to make some designs? That gets a little trickier. Now we have to work like this. I'm going to create half of a circle. That will get cut away. Maybe I will create a little snip like this, like a triangle. That will get cut away. That will turn into a diamond when it's opened up. Let's do the same thing over here. It's good to plan it out before you just start cutting into it. A lot of times people cut into their snowflakes and then they're left with just a bunch of scraps on the ground. So it's good to give yourself a little bit of a plan. Even if you want to go ahead and cut into it, like a lot of times we do with snowflakes, we make these little snips You can do that. Sometimes it's just really good to plan it out. Okay, now let's get started to cut this away and you'll see what happens. So here we go. I'm going to start cutting. Now, here's a little piece of advice that I've learned over the years. Instead of trying to cut it out all at one time, make it easy on yourself. Get some of that stuff out of the way. There, that's easier. All right, here, I'm gonna get this one out of my way. All right. So see how I'm working towards that line? It's a lot easier on my hands when I get all that out of the way. I know it's all gonna get cut off anyway. Okay, now, here we go. I'm gonna keep on cutting. Anything that's black is going away. It's getting cut away. Anything that's white is staying. If you want to cut into one side like that, then you can cut into the other side like this. Feel free to do this with anybody in your family. Maybe they've done this before and they can give you some of their fun design tricks and tips. So this is what a lot of times we do when we make our snowflakes. We kind of cut into it like that. I'm sure a lot of you have already made some type of snowflake similar. Okay, now my last shape here. Okay, moment of truth. Here we go. Okay, we're going to start opening it up. And let's see if we get our 8-pointed snowflake. I think we're gonna get there. Here we go. Oh yes, looks gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, let's take a look. We have our plus sign and we have our X. There we go. So what you are going to do when you are done creating some of these snowflakes, you are going to put them on top of that background that you made with all of your snowflake drawings. So it can look like there's snowflakes floating in front of other snowflakes. You could even get creative and raise it up somehow. Who knows? The world is your oyster. You can, enjoy yourself. And that's my rule. Enjoy yourself and stay creative. Remember, might be a little difficult. It's okay. If you need to do a few rounds, please be patient with yourself. It is all good. The folding to the cutting, it takes a lot of patience. And remember, if there happens to be any snow coming up soon, your homework is you need to go look at it. Do that Wilson Bentley thing and check it out. All right, again, follow the rules, enjoy yourself, stay creative, and I will see you guys really soon.